This UCSD TV program is a presentation of University of California Television for educational and non-commercial use only.
Afghanistan is a hot subject nowadays. 23 years of war have left Afghanistan in misery and ruins. Once proud cities such as 3,000-year-old Herat have been bombed in a rubble. Villagers have been slaughtered. Irrigation system wrecked. Fruit orchards were chopped down. 1.5 million Afghans were killed during the war against Soviet and also the civil war between 79 to 89. 3.5 million refugees to Iran and also Pakistan. Afghans are tough people. Their rich culture, a mosaic of Persian and Central Asian traditions, dated to at least the Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BC, but now they are in trouble. In 1996, when Taliban took over the Afghanistan, execution of citizens in the soccer fields, evicting children, girls particularly, from the schools, banning women through the workforce, outlaw music, harboring terrorists such as Osama bin Laden, even after September 11 attack, left this nation in chaos. Health services are scarce for men and fewer for women. In every 4 children die before the age of 5. Life expectancy for the men and women is 46. There is little electricity and safe water hard to find. How did I get involved? In December 1999, a dear friend introduced me to our organization by the name of Rotary. I remember the first time I arrived in my present Rotary Club, La Jolla Golden Triangle Rotary Club. I felt at home, and my life never been the same. But the biggest change was the answer to my question I had been asking myself, and many of us, and many of you, maybe ask the same question: why am I here? What is the reason? I assure you, we are all here in this planet for a reason, and we just need to pay attention and find it. To my sadness and amazement, I found it. I find my reason and why I am in this planet through the tragedy of September 11, when thousands of innocent lives were lost. That was a changing moment for me. In early 2002, with the assistance of my colleagues, Mr. Steve Braun, one of the members of the La Jolla Golden Triangle, who is my hero and my mentor and my teacher, I was on my way to Pakistan-Afghanistan border to work in the 2 refugees camp in the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. The condition of the clinics was horrifying. There was no heating system, no hot water, with the open sewers, no baby cots, no proper delivery table. And I remember once I was one night I stay over in one of the clinics to deliver a baby, and after the delivery of the baby, we have no hot water to wash the baby even. And the gloves the doctor were using is the same as the food handling, the one we are using over here for the food handling. And worst of all, during the delivery, the electricity shut down, and we have to use a flashlight to deliver the baby. After everything was settled down, I basically feel very ill. And the next day, I sent an email to my Rotary Club, and I asked for $700 to buy a generator. And to my amazement, I received, after a week, $7,000 from my generous Rotarians. That amount of money I was able to do so many things, including buying a delivery table, generator, repair and building the sewer system, bathrooms, kitchen, and cabinets. Medicine for the 2 clinics for the children, and also OBGYN for the women. For 1 year, food for the orphanage in Pakistan, in Peshawar. Upon my return to United States after 2 months of working in the refugees, I presented the idea of building a school in Afghanistan for the refugee children, which were returning to the war-torn of their homeland with few facilities to go to schools. I remember the first time I brought this issue up in front of my colleagues, and particularly Steve Braun, and I said, let's go to Afghanistan, build a school. He turned to me and he said, that's a terrible idea. But with his dedication and effort and the support of many San Diegan, and particularly we are very grateful to the Donors Foundation, which giving us with the seed money, and a lot of Rotarians, we raised about $90,000, and by November of 2002, I was on my way to Afghanistan. But this time, we decided to build a school over there. One of our members, Mr. Rick Clark, he drew the architect of the buildings, and with that plan in our hand and $90,000 in our pocket, we were in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. As soon as we arrived in Afghanistan, we had several meetings with the local government officials and also various ministries in Kabul with seeking approval for the building a school. Our plan was approved and supported by Ministry of Education, and that was welcomed by the local governor and the local elders. And as Madir mentioned, that the school is functional now and is finished by 2004, was completed, and also now we have more than 6,500 students, 2,500 girls. That is the location of the school we built, because there was only 2 tents with the UNESCO donated, and there was 400 students in those tents. We had the groundbreaking in November of 2002, and in 2004, the school was built. It's a beautiful school with a 20 classroom. We have a multi-purpose room, computer center, library, and it's accommodate more than, unfortunately, it's more than we can accommodate, we have students. One of the reasons we find out why the girls are not going further than 6th grade, because we find out after a year that, unfortunately, because of their cultures, they are not able to send the children because of the male teachers. So we asked the governor if they can find about 13 female teachers and to bring more students, female students. But unfortunately, they didn't have enough money to hire about more than 5 female teachers. So we end up hiring about 8 more, and now at the moment we have 13 female teachers that they are teaching our girls. The salary of a teacher is only $650 a year. So that was very easy money to raise. We are very grateful to U.S. military because they were helping us for donating the water well, and also a lot of chairs and desks were donated by the U.S. military. We also established a sister school with the El Doyle Elementary School in San Diego. In 2004, also we established we chartered a Rotary Club in Jalalabad, and they were very helpful in our further project we have in Jalalabad. In May 2006, we were able to bring 6 professors from the Nangarhar University to San Diego for a month under the Rotary Global Connection Exchange. We provided the map of the world in 8 classrooms. We sent about 12,000 English dictionaries to the students at our school and also the other schools around the Jalalabad. We hired about, as I mentioned, about the 8 female teachers. So we can, we brought more female students to the classrooms. Every year I'm going, one of the questions is always asking me, how the schools survive? Because that's a very important question, because the elders in that part of the world, particularly in Afghanistan, are extremely powerful. And one of the things from the start we did, we sat down with the elders, we give them the power, we ask them what they want. So we have a great relationship with the elders, and every year I'm going to Jalalabad, I usually sit down with them and have a cup of tea and then talk about the issues related to their school. That's a Doyle Elementary School and the Jalalabad Rotary Club. We also brought 6 professors to the San Diego for a month of relationship, and we took them to the rodeo. The next team of the GSE Group Study Exchange Program was done, but we were we were able to bring 2 female. It's very hard to get the female recruited and bring them to other countries. But we were lucky because these 2 ladies, actually their parents were professors at the university. We also connected this San Diego is a sister city of Jalalabad. And we were able to bring the mayor of Jalalabad in 2004 to San Diego to meet with our mayor. In 2002, when we found out that the Jalalabad has also a university, and we thought that's a good idea to go and meet with the professors and also the authorities in that area. The Nangarhar University is second largest university in Afghanistan. When we met with them, unfortunately, they said they have been isolated the rest of the world, and one of the things they were asking us to help them. We thought, what can we do to connect them to the rest of the world in an urgent way? So that was the start of a good relationship, and we were able to bring one of the professors from San Diego State University, Mr. Steve Spencer, to Nangarhar University, and we established an 8-station computer center. Can you imagine, we opened a world to them with a click of a button, because they were isolated from the rest of the world for 32 years. And they were teaching from the old notes that remain from the Soviet Union. The other things we have done is through the 2 years of effort and constant meeting with the World Bank representative, we find out there is a budget, there is a funding for the higher education, about $40 million. And from that $40 million is divided between 6 universities. And one of the universities was Nangarhar University. So we were able to get about $4 million, and the $4 million, $2 million for the English department and $2 million for the engineering department. We built a relationship between San Diego State University and the Nangarhar University, and through this effort, and also the effort of the Rotary organization, our Rotary Foundation, we have given until now about 3 professors from the English department. They came to San Diego and also Central Michigan and the Grand Valley University. They have given they are taking the courses there for English, in their master degrees in English. One of the professors, Mr. Mohibullah Israr, actually meeting with our Rotary International president. The other effort of us is building a new guest in Nangarhar University, a small guest house for the visiting professors, and also some dignitarian are coming from Kabul. We also built an international learning center, which is honored by the name of Mr. Steve Braun International Center, which is the hub for the high technology and also communication between through the long distance learning, and it has equipped with the high technology. It's amazing how technology opened a door to this nation. And now we have many long-distance learning and conference calls and seminars through the between the San Diego State University and also the university in Jalalabad. One of the things we find out that the number of among 4,000 students at the Nangarhar University, we have only 20 females. And we find out what is the reason. After many research, we find out that unfortunately, due to their cultures and also they are not allowing the female, after graduating, if they will send them to different provinces, if they don't have a safe housing, they are not allowing them to go and stay over there and study. And due to that issues, we raised enough money to build a dormitory, which is accommodate about 70 females. And actually this year was my last trip over there was we had a grand opening, and at the moment we have about 25 females at the dormitory. They are studying in different fields at the university. It's a beautiful dormitory, and it's very convenient with the lots of parents to let them come and study. The other issues, as you know, the females in that part of the world, particularly in Afghanistan, they are facing a lot of challenges. So one of the things I thought what we will do, how we can empower them. One of the things I have done is through the lots of seminars, and the last, in 2009 actually, I put a women's seminars, and we thought the best way we can empower them is through their religion, which is the right of women in Islam. I invited about 6 Islamic experts and also lots of their professors to talk about the right of women in Islam. And it was very successful, and it was giving them the power that they will express their issues. One of the highlights of our efforts and our projects under the Global Connection Exchange Program, which is a State Department program, we were able to get a grant for $350,000 and exchange the students and connect the student at the Nangarhar, at Jalalabad schools to the schools in US and also around the world. We established about 12 high schools with the internet, established an internet connections. We establish computer centers with the high-speed internet, which they can communicate through the Skype and also through the lots of websites like Facebook and Ning site, communicating with the students around the world. In my just recent trip, which is, I came back actually 2 days ago, and it was the female soldiers at the US military. We had a Skype call between the students, the female students, and the female soldiers. It was very successful, and particularly the question they were asking. The other things we helped them to start to put some seminars through this. Some of the girls actually at the high school, they put a seminar regarding the violence, domestic violence, which was very successful in a sense of expressing their issues, which is, it might not be a big deal over here that we talk about this. Really a female over there cannot express what they feel. And one of the girls, they came to me and they said they wanted to talk about this issue, but they don't want to talk about it in front of the male. I encouraged them to actually invite the male students to come in, and then we have a conversation and a discussion about this issue. And it was a very successful seminar, and it's done all by the students. The domestic abuse is extremely popular over there, unfortunately. The other things we have done is basically we gave about $150 through the Sister City Foundation to each school to go and find a project in their own community and their own schools. And that was one of the best projects we have done, because the students actually took charge and they have done something for their community. Lots of time when I'm there, I usually trying to bring them to work together as a team, and we had a food competition, and it was very interesting to them that the boys, they cook, and we have a competition and select one of the winners, and they give them some materials to use for their schools. Rotary International is one of the biggest partner of the World Health. And until now, we raised about more than $500 million to help the eradication of the polio. And there is 4 countries remain in the world that they need to be eradicated. The polio should be eradicated. Is Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, and Nigeria. The student at the Global Connection Exchange Program within about 12 high schools, actually they gathered together and they did a polio campaign for fundraising, and they raised about more than $550. It's a combination. They went to the community, they went to the bank, and they raised that amount of money. I know that $550 is nothing over here, but it's a lots of money for the student in Afghanistan, and they did a fantastic job. We have also got a grant with about $1.5 million from the NATO and the USAID to make the whole university at the main campus of the university in Jalalabad, and also the 4 campus in the city wireless, connected to the internet with the high speed, and it's wireless. The project is going to be done in 2 months. The Canadian Rotarians, this year is going to be the 100 years of Rotary in Canada. So with the help of Rotarian in Canada and the government of Canada, they raised enough money to build another school in Jalalabad. I was honored to be their representative, and we had a groundbreaking for the school. The students, unfortunately, in this school, majority of them, they were sitting during the rain and summer and winter under the trees, and that was their school. The construction started in 2009, And last year it was done. I had, before I will come over here, we had a grand opening, and here is, and it's amazing when I met with the students. I teach them what one of the sign language, I love you, and they were there, they all showed their hands this way to me. And it was wonderful to see them back instead of sitting in the floor under the trees, now they are sitting in their classrooms. The other things we are working on is telemedicine. The telemedicine is another issue that the medical field in Jalalabad is extremely neglected. Lots of the patients, yet if they have a serious disease, they have to go to Pakistan or India, which, as you know, some of them, they cannot afford to do that one. So we purchased them with one of the dermatologists, actually, a high resolution camera, and taking the pictures and also communicating with one of the dermatologists in San Diego. We connected some of the ultrasound machine and their radiologists to the internet, and through that one they can send their images and communicate with some of the doctors and facilities around here in San Diego, so for diagnostic reason. The newest project is building another international learning center at as one of the campuses, College of Education in the city. The construction is going to be a huge hall for lectures and also computer centers for the students. We have 2,000 students at the College of Education with no internet connection at all. And the construction started and is going to be done in next year. One of my newest projects, which is we are still in the process of fundraising, is there is 4 villages in the other side of the Kabul River, very close to the Jalalabad, but unfortunately, due to the river, they cannot cross over, and they don't have no access to the school or health facilities. A lot of their children are just illiterate. They can't read or write because they are growing up with no schools around. And also the elders, I was talking to them, majority of them, they have to put their patients sometimes in a donkey and then ride hours and hours, and sometimes their patients die in the back of the donkey, and they are not able to use any facilities. So we decided to raise enough money to build a bridge over the Kabul River, and it's amazing. If we build the bridge, there is the other side of the river in Jalalabad, there is a school over there. But unfortunately, the cost is about $170,000, which we raised about $67,000 of that until now. So we are hoping that the U.S. military will help us, and we are in the process of more fundraising. This is the way they transfer usually between the cities, actually, which is very dangerous. And these are the children that on those villages, they are growing up. And unfortunately, these are the children are targeted for the terrorism. These are the children who are not educated, and they are very good target for recruiting them for suicidal bombing. We are hoping to build a bridge, something similar to this one. As you know, there is a lots of widows in Jalalabad because of their husbands, or they were killed, or they died, and they don't have no education or a source of income. The lack of income, lots of time is the cause of abuse of these women also, because they have to count on the male figure in their families, like brother-in-laws or uncle, or the families that they will not help them. With $10,000, just simple $10,000, we can provide economic empowerment to these women for 5 families. The plan is to buy some kind of animals like cows or chicken or lamb or sheep, So we can help them to train them. We can give them the seeds for the feeding the animals, and also train them through the College of Agriculture. The students are taking over this project, and they wanted to do this project. So I'm helping, and I'm trying to find some funding for the 5 families, which I have already met with the women and have interviewed with them. In the past 9 years, we were able to assist the education, in not only education community, we are also helping the medical community. We have established the internet system at the Nangarhar Public Hospital. We send 2 ultrasound machines to Nangarhar Public Hospital. We purchased pediatric equipment and established a computer center for Nangarhar Teaching Hospital. We established a computer center at the medical school and providing for computers for all their classrooms for the professors' presentation. We arranged for shipping of 2.5 million wholesale value of unexpired medication to the Jalalabad. There are 2 projects in the process of the fundraising, which I mentioned. One of them is footbridge, and also the other one, which is the cost about $770,000, and the other one is the women empowerment. As stated by Eleanor Roosevelt, it is not enough talk about peace. One must believe in peace. And it is not enough to believe in it. One must work on it. I'm profoundly grateful to my Rotary organization, which has given me a chance to serve as a volunteer in an opportunity to make a difference in the world. We are impacting so many children, women, men, and our goal bigger is building peace and understanding, and the only way it can be achieved is through people-to-people projects and show others that we feel and we care for them. It is not enough just to spend money on food and medicine. They need us. You and me, we need to be present over there. We need to teach them how to fish. We need to keep their dignity and worth as a human. One smile or a simple hug give hope and build friendship. As my favorite lady in the world, God bless her soul, Mother Teresa said, we all cannot do great things, but we can do small things with great love. I'm very honored to be here and share this experience with you. And we can stop here, and later on we can have some question and answer. Thank you so much. Thank you.
As a fellow colleague, nurse, I want to commend you so much for what you have done in such a short period of time.
Thank you,
That
ma'am.
speaks so much to the person that you are and how you relate to people in order to have gained their trust so quickly. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fary, thank you, and I will certainly echo the comments. Can you talk about this issue of security within the country and how you are able in Jalalabad, for example, to make the progress that you're making? Yet we hear every day about the violence and the destruction in the outlying areas, and what you think for the future.
Sure. One of the things I wanted to emphasize on is the security issues. It's not easy to trust people in that part of the world. It's because of the so many years of destruction and the war, and different countries got involved. The Afghans hardly they trust you, not very easily. It took me about 5 years to gain their trust. And I never forget it. After 5 years, one of the teachers stand in front of me and said, "You really care about us coming over here." And took me 5 years to gain their trust. And the security is so important, is count on the local Afghans. For me, when we started over there, we actually, we didn't have no security, no guard, and the only things we drive in a regular Toyota, and then also the local Afghans are our security. And the reason is because we built a great team of people over there. We have a great relationship with the elders. Elders in that country are extremely powerful. And it's so important that anything you wanted to do in that part of the world, and also I think in many other countries that we wanted to work over there, we built a relationship with the community. And it's so important for your own security also, for your own, for whatever you are doing over there, for any establishment you wanted to do over there, it's better to get in touch with the community and ask them what they want, instead of telling them what to do. Because a lot of time they might say yes, or they might cooperate with you, but it's a very temporary. But if you will ask them what they want, give them the power, they will take care of you. And it's already 9 years. I've been there 14 times. And all these years, they are the one who's taking care of me. And one thing is about the security, unfortunately, this trip, I just came 2 days ago, as I mentioned, the security is not as good as before, but it's not also as bad as the media portrayed. Life goes on. When you are over there, there is, unfortunately, once in a while, there is because of the election also was going on, there was some blasts here and there, but it's a very minor. It's not a major incident.
Would you please tell us how we can become involved? Is there a way? Members of our community or us individually?
Yeah. There is so many ways you can, if you are interested to get involved, mostly through our foundation, the Rotary Foundation, La Jolla Golden Triangle Rotary Foundation, if from the adopting a school, adopting a village, helping women to empower the women. Unfortunately, the shipping and handling is very expensive, because I was just going to tell you, like sending books, for example. We can send some books because they are extremely interested in libraries and the books. They are in the stage of, they are out of the stage of survival, and now they wanted constantly to learn, and they are very enthusiastic to learn and do the things themselves. And that's the reason they are asking for a lot of like DVDs, lots of school materials, stationaries. But because of the shipping and handling is extremely expensive, so it's very hard. And $1 over there goes a long way. $1 is buy about 4 notebooks and many, and also like 5 pens and pencils, and so the children are in need of always stationaries, and also the women is you can accept like a if you are having a children through the Facebook Ning site. Just communicate with the kids. These kids are brilliant. You will be amazed with the little bit guidance, if you can give them, how powerful they can get involved in their community. I will tell you a story. It's so interesting. Just in my recent trip, I talked to them and I said, next time the election was going on, and there was lots of candidates. They were coming to the media and their local TV and talk. And one of them, they said, the next day I went to their school, and here is what they have done. They went actually to one of their candidate, and they said, Mr. So-and-so, if you want our vote, you have to send a carpenter to our school. Our chairs need repair. This is wonderful. And you know why they did it? Because these kids, they never, ever done something like this. This is because we teach them. We teach them to go to their own community, go and express your voice, talk about your issues, because you are important. And you know how they learn? Because of the kids over here, they communicate with them through the Ning side, what they have done over here, the student council, the gathering in the schools, the parents meeting. They have the first Mother's Day over there this last year. They are celebrating Father's Day last year. They just learned because somebody from here sent them, oh, today is my Mother's Day, you know, our Mother's Day, and we have done this. They learn, and they learn fast. And the candidates actually send the carpenter. Believe it or not.
What is his Ning?
Ning side. I can send you all the information. I think it's GCEP Afghanistan Ning site. If you with www.ning, I think it's ning.com. And I can send you the information later on. I can write them down for you. But through Facebook, actually, you can communicate through Facebook with these children, because every day they are coming to that center. And one of the children told me something which is very powerful. One of the kids, he told me, Fary, you know this classroom you built for us, with the computer center? This is like a sanctuary for us. And then one of the kids were asking him, why you are going over there every day, a few hours you spend in that room? He told the other kids, he said, you know what, when I open that door, there is a different world over there. You don't understand it. I know what's going on in Europe. I know what's going on in the US. They are intelligent. They are hungry. They are like a sponge. Teach them something, they grab it. They have now the student council. They get together. They sit and talk in a civilized way. And that's amazing. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Are they communicating in English?
All of them. Yes. I mean, their English is of course, it's a little bit rough and tough, but they reach their messages. They talk about the issues they have. And they are very brilliant. I mean, they got involved in politics. They are involved in their community. They are, one of the other suggestion I had one day, I just said, once a while invite somebody as a guest speaker, one of your authorities, one of your professors from university, from the military, from your police department. And guess what? The next day I went there, they had a speaker, and I said, who is this person? He said, he's one of our candidates. They did it. So they just need some suggestion and guidance.
Who is teaching them their own national language and culture?
They do have, the majority of these schools, English is only just a subject. And majority of their schools are taught in Pashto. And also Farsi Dari is another subject they are learning. They are learning all the literature. They have literature, English literature, and also majority of their teachers are also learning in their College of Education, and they are teaching them. Yes. And one thing is, the area we are working, Jalalabad, Nangarhar basically is one of the largest province in Afghanistan, and the major 90% of them are Pashtun. And and only 7% are Pashai, and which is another tribe, and then also like 3% in the Tajiks. But majority, but it's amazing. The only students are they just live in a refugees camp. They are coming back from Pakistan. Unfortunately, they just speak Pashto, and that's the very tough language. I'm trying to learn it, and I cannot communicate with children. But majority of the adults and educated one, they do speak both language, Farsi and also Pashto. And of course, the educated one speak English also as well.
You said that libraries are very important to them. Are the books monitored, or can they receive and read anything?
As long as it's not, I mean, the books are, we are talking about the children, and also lots of like medical book. There is some of the pictures like female physical body should not be shown, and there is restriction. Otherwise, they are any kind of books they can have in their library, as long as it's not something regarding the sexual or physical body of a woman. That's forbidden. But they are very much interested in history and also literature, poetry. They love poetry.
You know, I think it's wonderful what you've done, and I really like all of it. I worry, could there be a change in the leadership of the country and all of this get wiped out, particularly any progress in the rights of women and education of women? Is that a very fragile kind of balance right now?
Here's my opinion, sir. I've been there 14 times, and from 2002, basically, I went to Afghanistan. The progress in this short period of time is tremendous. And one thing I assure you, if we will keep supporting them behind the scene, particularly regarding education, and bringing the technology over there, in 5 or 6 more years, the students, we are going to have another revolution, but the young generation, because they cannot tolerate it anymore. They are the one who is changing it, because it's amazing. From the 2002, which I went there, there was no phone line, no line of communication, no cellular phone, no computers. And I remember they have to drive me about 45 minutes out of town to another American organization, so I can send one email. And my email sometimes takes about an hour. And sometimes the electricity was shut down, so there was no electricity. But in just last year, they are reading their emails with their cellular phone. They are sending email with the cellular phone. The kids, they are taking pictures with their cell. They are communicating with the rest of the world through the emails and the Ning site, the Facebook. Honestly, I'm learning most of my technology. I'm learning and putting my presentation together. I learned it from them. Believe it or not, I was there. They are teaching me, and it's amazing the progress in them. And I think it's hard to get them back. I know we keep on hearing lots of bad news. The government is corrupted, no doubt about it. Everybody knows. And you know, one of the things, this is my idea, this is my understanding about the Afghans. Afghans are very complicated society, extremely complicated. Reading few books, we cannot be expert. Going to Afghanistan, staying for 1 month or 2 months, you can't be expert. You cannot understand these people. I am from that part of the world, even though I grew up in a in Iran, and I speak their language. Somehow we understand each other, and little bit similarity in cultures and traditions, but I'm learning. And you have to be there. You have to sit with them, drink tea, have lunch or dinner with them to understand them really. It's a very complicated society. But one thing I will tell you, even the elders, who is bringing the female students to schools? Fathers. Women are in the house. They are not allowed to go out in a sense of attending the teacher, like coming to the schools and being a part of the schools, like PTA, or coming and talking, bringing their children to school. His fathers are the one. And these are the elders are bringing their children to the girls, the female girls, they are bringing to schools. We have 10,000. In one school, there was 10,000 female. I mean, it's unbelievable the number of the students are coming to schools. It's amazing. So I think it's hard to take them back, take the technology out of their hands. And I think the technology is a huge revolution in that country.
The question I have is interference by the Taliban. And have the elders been involved in that, in preventing the interference by the Taliban that we often hear with schools?
It's a very interesting question, because 2009, December 2009, when I was there, one of our, the computer center we built at the Rotary School, which is, believe it or not, the area we built the school was a fascinating area. It was very close, 2 kilometers from the Osama bin Laden compound, which is I actually visited, and it was bombed. And there is also, you heard about the Tora Bora mountain, and the extremists is living in that area. So it's 3 hours to the Tora Bora, and it's an area, they call it Molavi Khalis, which is the Islamic fundamentalist groups are living in that area, which we didn't know. So the governor donated that land. Now we know that it's a very fundamentalist area. We built this school, but we are glad we did it. And this majority of these elders are from that tribe, that Islamic group. I heard from one of our teacher. They said we received some letters that they threaten about the sending female to the computer center, and they don't like it. I asked them to arrange a meeting with the elders. So one of the pictures you saw, it was that day particularly. I arranged a meeting. I went there and I sat with them, drink a cup of tea, and I turned to one of their leaders. I said, "Sir, I heard about this rumor. What do you want us to do?" For me, it's easy to go and lock the door, because the safety of children is more important to us than keep the computer center open. And you know what was his response? He said, "Who told you that?" I said, "It's a rumor." He said, "Forget about that. Don't worry about none of those things. We are the decision makers. We want our girls will go to school. We want our girls also to learn the computers. So don't worry about none of those." And this is the response. And many, many times we heard, like, for example, in Kandahar, unfortunately, there is few areas still is very dicey, which is Kandahar, Helmand, Farah, and these are mostly in the southeast of Afghanistan. Those are the cities that they are still a little bit dicey to, and they are. And this is really randomly. This is very cowardly done by some of these people to put the fear in children and the families, actually, not to send their girls. But overall, Jalalabad is, compared to other cities, it's been very safe overall. over all the pictures. And every time we hear there's a school was burned or hurt, the children were hurt, we send the email to one of our colleagues and ask them, how is the school, is Rotary is doing? And the elders, he always meet with the elders and say, this is our school. This is not American school. This is not, European school. This is our school, and we are taking care of it. So don't worry about that. And thanks God, knock the wood, everything might change in a minute, but overall, it's already close to 10 years. It survived and it's doing wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your listening to me. Thank you. Thank you.